I have lost status, I have lost livelihood, I have temporary rights and freedoms now. Even if I want something, it is because I want to exercise what I believe in. I am a member of the National Resistance Movement. I have not denounced that. I have not identified myself as someone who has left. My responsibility now as a member is to call fellow members to order. That is one. Number two is to preach this gospel that actually not every member or supporter of the NRM is corrupt, does not care, is not concerned for as long as things are wrong. No. Let me tell you, even in the government, ministers, when I meet one-on-one people, people tell me that actually, if we had the courage like yours, maybe we would speak up. When the parliamentary exhibition started, of course, when I started tweeting about it negatively, the arrogance of the speaker was that this fool shouldn't be speaking about me. Who is he? Certainly, Swat was running in her head. She called my supervisors to tell me to shut up. So when I met my supervisors over the same, I said, but I am one of the reasons why you have kept me in the system is because I am always in the media defending government. I am always in the media making sure that we correct what is wrong. So how do I correct this? How do I go and tell people that the speaker's budgets and these transactions are authentic? They thought what could put me to order was calling off the job, suspended, which is a humiliation. You can't suspend me over something that is illegal. You can't suspend me because I talked about what is in the public. Because I asked them, well, if I was in Isinjiro, if I was in Chiruhura, my discussion would be about foot and mouth disease, which was the issue then. In that area, I am in Kampala. So I reached a level whereby I have no safe area. My bosses are against what I am doing. They have put it in the public. And really, I have no safe space left. Because my fallback is my bosses to protect me. Now they are openly saying we can't protect you. When I got suspended, a lot happened. The choice was I can go and apologize to this powerful human being, important than anyone, for me to survive, for me to live happily, for me to live with my livelihood, which I am, which is a right to me. I have a right to employment. I had to go and kneel down to this powerful human being, something I refused. Said, no, I cannot do that. So, two, I had to shut up. In actual sense, I had to disconnect my conscience, make it inactive, so that I am not thinking right, I am not talking right, I am not believing right, I am just there. When I refused to disconnect my conscience, is how I ended in prison. The exact charges were, like I said, the speaker is corrupt, she's a kidnapper, she's a murderer. If I am to qualify that literally, not legally, I am right. Even if I am to qualify that legally, certainly I have a point. But you want to use literal interpretation of what I said in frustration to gag me into prison. That alone disqualifies you. It makes you incompetent to be there. But now, the problem here is, you came for my livelihood. Okay, that was for me and my family. but I have a responsibility also that everyone in my jurisdiction also benefits from my services. The moment you attempt to take one's rights, it becomes a threat to even others. Because it is 1, 2, 3, eventually it's all of us if we keep quiet. Now, I go to prison, so many calls come in to apologize, to ask for forgiveness. Even if I did, how would you justify that when I was in prison, I apologized and I was set free? Would that be morally correct? Certainly, we have lost the moral fiber in that aspect, given the trail of things that have happened. That even when I am in prison, I get out, I have these conditions I must fulfill, some of them that are anti-human rights, some of them that are unconstitutional, but still you say, okay, you have partially given me this freedom and rights for me actually to be free to move to where I want to be, but even where I am, I cannot speak ably. And the issue of prison, of this journey to prison, is not my affair only. If it was for my affair, really I had the obligation to shut up, keep quiet, leave people to be. But now this journey, we are here, people, even when I am in prison, people are demonstrating. It shows you how it is not my affair only. That even my being in prison, it does not stop things from happening. That even when you abuse power, for example, you deploy heavily to stop those demonstrating, it is not enough. This is the explanation now. And I don't care now. You see, in life, there are two things. One is to believe, and another it is to die. What you believe in, whether you are Christian, whether you are NUP, whether you are FDC, whether you are NRM, what you believe in defines how you are described and how you live until you die. I think in this short 3-4 months, I have ably explained what I believe in. I have ably put it out. I don't care how it is judged. But I don't think what I believe in is defined by when I had the freedom. What I believe in should be defined by when I didn't have the freedom. And when I don't have the freedom, this short space is an explanation of what I believe my country should be. Is an explanation of what I believe all citizens should be treated like. It started with Mabati, iron sheets. Parliament knows whatever goes anywhere in this country because it does the appropriation, it passes the budget, and it audits it on return. In the beginning, it passes the budget. In the end, it audits the budget. And all of these committees in Parliament have a representation of the people, the others are ex-officials. So how can you say that a speaker, where there is no disaster, where you did not appropriate, you requested for iron sheets? To come from where? From which budget? From which allocation? For a budget, yes, there is need. Also, for example, if there is need, why don't you track it back, rewind it back, and you track it through the local government system? Because we have a decentralized government, whereby all things, all needs, service delivery needs goes through the budget. Why do we have now to jump the local government system and you communicate directly to the ministry or to the Prime Minister's office where there is a clear channel? That indiscipline alone is something that we need to put a stop at so that we make local governments functional. Why does an MP have to override the local government system? So in actual sense, the Speaker goes, picks Mabati, brings them herself, allocates them. Now, this alone is bribery. You are telling the school that government is supposed to facilitate, that government cannot, but I can. So you need me more than you need the government. And this does not apply to the Speaker alone. It applies to the ministers, it applies to the MPs, it applies to the powerful people in this country who can bully any system and they find their way inside, get what they want, and take it outside. So it reached Parliament, we get out of the scandal of Mabati. Then there is this scandal of transactions flying within the Parliament. Like people sit and agree how to share, how to award themselves. We very well know that no one awards themselves what doesn't belong to them. Someone has to sit and appreciate the services. And even in the process of appreciating, they determine how you should be appreciated, how much you should be given, or what you should be given. So Parliament sits, they agree, okay, we thank ourselves. Now that is unconstitutional. Parliament cannot charge the consolidated fund without clearance of the executive. This was a charge on the consolidated fund. The only power Parliament has is to reduce. If they say this activity had been planned to cost this, but it's too much, let's go low, it is acceptable. But let's go above, it is not. So by merely creating that service award charge on the consolidated fund, without a commitment from the minister, without the commitment from the government, the executive, that alone was theft. Because it was nowhere in the budget, but it was created. Since when did the government start doing corporate social responsibility? It is charged with social services, service delivery. If you want to do anything, you do it through a system. But you can't have 17 billions on the Speaker's disposal to do corporate social responsibility. Here, people are struggling every day to take their relatives to India. And equally, everyone is bothered because you have to contribute. Someone does a contribution, someone does a car wash, a motorcycle wash, run for so and so, just to cure things that really, if we are serious, can be done here, operations can be done here. And this is what we are trying to raise, that the 17 billions you are giving the Speaker, for example, to donate. The other day you had, she donated to Rotary 1 billion. You don't have delivery beds in Entebbe Hospital. Delivery beds. You are donating 1 billion in corporate social responsibility. Doesn't make sense. I don't have to get foreign funders to charge me, to get angry, for example, and I go to demonstrate over that. With my suspension, I had no alternative because I was not willing. As I told you earlier, I may have benefits. I have a car given to me by government. It is fueled by government. I am given a salary. I have those privileges as an individual. But for heaven's sake, my father doesn't. My sisters don't. My friends don't. Equally, even those we lead don't. Their only hope and survival is that those in the government do better for them to survive. That's their only hope. Otherwise, when they get sick, they will die. When they get angry, they will die. When they get frustrated, they will hate you. So what angered me is that We are not thriving to do better, but we are here colluding to support those who are stealing from those who expect us to do better. And I go on TV to brag, because that would be bragging, to go on TV and now start defending. I am defending Anita for having been given 17 billions illegally taken out of the consolidated fund. Young people who are angry, who are hungry, who have nothing to do, who are just there, we are looting at sending them to prison. That's the only safe space we have for them. Prison. Go round them off, throw them to prison. When we get an opportunity of maybe putting up something for them, we steal it. Some of these things consciously do not make sense. They don't add up. And we cannot keep plotting for our safe spaces. I have a new car, latest brand that I have 0 mileage. I have fuel, I have these allowances allocated to me, and that is the comfort I am plotting for in life. And I cannot interrupt such because I am getting it. At the end of the day, I will lose it. Recently, the march to Parliament, all the infrastructure we have in the military was displayed. Still people came. This should be disturbing. That really, are we safe? How many are you going to kill? You had 100 in prison. If Parliament today can sit and convene business with tankers, APCs, rocket-propelled grenades, and all sorts of ammunitions and guns, and they normally sit, just know there is a problem. This is a people's parliament, for heaven's sake. It cannot sit to conduct business with tankers and APCs outside. What will happen to cabinet? When people came to riot or to demonstrate or what, the first thing would be, hey, what are you saying? Because you are registering people's frustrations and needs to respond to them. Now you don't care. You are seated there sharing committees, sharing how to eat, sharing who is going to eat what from where. And that's why you can allow APCs, RPGs, tankers to surround you while you're discussing that. So it's a collection of a number of things that I thought, no, this comfort is not actually comfort. It is temporary. We are sitting on a time bomb. Anytime it can explode. Let me tell you, I've gone through a lot. Between February and now, I have lost friends. My friends in government, if one who is closer to me wants to talk to me, he has to use a WhatsApp call. Or he has to manually look for me. But it cannot be seen in his call logo that he's talking to Burora. That's dangerous. It's too much to lose. I've lost my freedom. I'm now a guest in my country. I am a guest that I can't spend anywhere more than 30 or an hour. And I am there safely. Because everyone is either looking for you or everyone is uncomfortable, even when they want to be with you. Or they say, Anderson is here. What if they find us here? The fact that there is a budget to treat every minister, every MP who is sick, every government worker who is sick has insurance, not in Mulago. So there is no, Mulago is just there for those waiting to die. They don't have insurances in Mulago, they have insurances in private hospitals and abroad. And it is somewhere, someone seated somewhere every day to sign off this. When the minister is sick, they go to a private facility and the insurance is there and their family. So why are you excluding everyone responsible for our livelihood from accessing the same services we access? People in positions of leadership should not start thinking that by assuming that role, they are running a private entity. They shouldn't assume that by merely calling them to order, you are being abusive and disturbing. I am saying so because that is where my hope is. To cut this whole story short, if people want to cut the journey of fighting corruption short, Ugandans are not stupid. And even those concocted intelligence reports that were given to the president, that demonstrators are paid by foreigners, they are given money. Money to do what? To show me that you bought a generator of 500 millions, of 250 millions, the same generator on the market that is on 50, 60 millions. To tell me that, okay, that generator, how many hospitals do not have generators? You are wasting resources on an individual saying, let's do right. Why don't you want to be accountable? I don't want to center myself to be the discussion. I don't want to be this topical. I got sick, I ate bad food, I slept on the floor. That is not the point. So people are drunk and lost in titles, in offices. They cannot see what people are going through. Because when you are leaving home, you have 2 cars ahead, you have 2 cars behind, you have a car you are in, you have a spare car. But power is the ability to get people's problems solved. I am a speaker. I have heard that there is a hospital somewhere that has no electricity, that has no solar, that has no water. And I envision that as people dying. That is the power you have. That when you hear of a hospital that has no power, that has no water, that has no equipment, the interpretation is people are dying. I will use my authority, I will use my power to make sure that that hospital gets what it doesn't have. That's the power you are charged with, not to throw people in jail. And my role here now is that whatever is not in line, let's talk about it. Let's open up a chapter of members of the party to tell the government we have fused the government and the party into one, which is wrong. A government is like a branch. You get it? It's like a branch where you have to do what is in consonance with what is supposed to be done. It is the members of NRM to tell their government that this road is bad. It's not the role of opposition. Opposition can oppose policy. Opposition can oppose laws, or they can oppose ideology. So, if someone is discussing that there is danger, there is an existential threat towards our principles, that person should be held with responsibility, with care, because he is telling you there is danger coming our way. You don't kill him. When you kill him, this danger eventually will vanish you, will sweep you away. So if you turn a house into a personal entity, private, limited by guarantee or shares, whatever you want, people will die, and people are dying. You have 100 people in prison on your account. These people have relatives. It has a ripple effect. They see how you have treated their children. Tomorrow they will protest, they will do whatever they can against you. Sometimes we may say things ignorantly, but it ceases to be ignorant if one raises on the floor of Parliament and you said what they are saying is nonsensical. Then it ceases to be not even an allegation. Now it qualifies that actually what we are saying is they are not mere allegations, but they are facts. Because when one asked a question about what is in the media, in the public, you denied him space. You abused on a hazard of Parliament. Leave alone, okay, brothers, freedoms and rights and whatever. But on the hazard of Parliament, we have a speaker telling a fellow member of Parliament that speak your nonsense. So what else dishonorable can we equate to that? Certainly, if it is there. I doubt if it is. And I want to ask my fellow members of the party, of the NRM, to stand tall, tell their own, tell their leaders that this is wrong. It is not wrong to do that. It is right. It is even biblical. Even kings ordained by God made mistakes. So I am thinking that already we have done our part. We have made enough alarm for people now to start realizing that there is a problem. And that alone for us, it is a win for me. It is a win that now people will start questioning their motives while doing public service. I want us to remain firm and bold to reclaim this lost glory of administration in our country.